Hello again, and this is the second part of my running story. So last time I shared about how I started running in general, but how I transitioned from running, from sprinting from 100-meter and 200-meter relay team to running long distance running just for myself, not competing with anyone, just for myself. And today I would love to share about why is it that I run. So the day when I decided that I wanted to start moving my body after having 2 kids and was overwhelmed in, studying, raising a family, and just didn't have any time or any money for that matter to take a dance class. But I really missed moving my body. And I just, remember I was just feeling, demotivated and just not knowing how to get to a space where I can start moving my body for the joy of it and for the pleasure of it and just for freedom. And when I decided to buy my first running shoes and my first running clothes to get out and run, I knew that running could offer me something that I needed at that time because I was really overwhelmed. And honestly, depression is in many levels, on many levels. And I think there was a time where I probably was also feeling some signs of, overwhelm and burnout. And I feel like the minute I remember the first time I went out for a run, I just refound the freedom that I knew existed, but I have never felt it before because long distance running requires time. If it's a 5 kilometer, you can spend 30 to 40 minutes. And during that time, you are in your own body, in your own thoughts, in your own feelings, and you get to deal with whatever. And I can say that that's the reason why I started running. I needed the mental clarity, the mental freedom, the mental space. And I also needed something that was easily accessible, that I couldn't make any excuses of not being able to do it because I couldn't afford it, one, or maybe I didn't have time. And for me, it works well to run in the morning as the first thing. And I think when you have kids, I feel like mornings are just the time. When my kids were still sleeping, I would go out and do an early morning run. By the time I come back, they're awake. I'm energized. I have time. I have the energy, and I have the surplus to tend to their needs. But what tends to happen as a mom is that you are constantly giving, pouring from your own cup. And if your cup is empty, you can feel depleted. You can feel slightly depressed. You can feel overwhelmed. You can even feel sad. You never have time for yourself. And I feel like running long distance running, the 3 kilometers, the 5 kilometer, and then later on 15, half marathon, really gave me time, and it really forced me to make the time for myself and make the time to use that space for mental clarity, work with whatever emotions I was dealing with. I remember there were runs where I was going through my divorce and I would cry during my run, because I just had so much emotions and energy that was pent up in me that somehow being out running sort of gave me a release. I remember having a run where I was just thinking of the losses that I suffered. That includes my mom, my sister, a very dear friend. Running gave me space for that. So I can say that these are some of the benefits that I still reap from getting out for a run. And I even remember just recently, 1.5 years ago, when I suffered a burnout, my doctor actually advised me against running because he said running can trigger the same sense of flight and fight mode. And I remember I was just sad, like, so what is the next thing? I know I can do yoga and dance, which is amazing, but I feel like running offers me, to get out into nature, feel the rain, feel the cold, and, just get in touch with my body. So what was I going to do? And I remember having to shift from running to walking. That was also a life lesson, and a lesson of humility, a lesson of slowness, a lesson of pacing myself, to working towards running again. And I remember aiming for the Berlin half marathon as my goal into getting back into running again, where it's still, where it was at a point where it felt mindful, intentional, and also healthy for me. Because you run for all reasons. You run to run away from things, you run to push, you run to numb, you run for freedom. But for me, after my burnout, the running became something else, and I think that was the biggest lesson. So running has provided me with a safe space to be. I feel like running is accessible for me as a brown person, that I can, it's a space I can occupy, and no one is going to tell me I can't be here. I feel like running gives me a sense of mental clarity, a sense of emotional connection, a sense of grounding and well-being, a sense of achievement as well, and a sense of feeling that I am doing something to pour into my own cup. And in that way, I'm able to pour out from my own cup to my children, my friendships, myself, and, the people that are around me, the people that mean the most to me. So those are some of the reasons why I run and why I love running. And last but not least, having become an Essex Front runner has also created another sense of awareness that running is always about camaraderie. Running is a community. Running is about team spirit. Running is about, therapy, the sense of community that I feel when I'm with my running team, running group, whether it's the Essex or the My Beautiful People run. There's a sense of therapy that is found within running. Either you share the joys and the excitement or the achievements of running, or you run and you're able to talk about things that can be difficult to express. But because you're running, all of a sudden there's a space for that as well. So I could go on and on about why I run and what running has done for me, but for now it is only about why I run. So are you a runner? Are you looking at maybe, starting running as the next thing for you? And why is it that you would be interested in running, start running? And what is it that drives you? What is it that draws you towards running? And what is it that you're missing that maybe running can fulfill? So these are some of the questions that you can think about. And if you have any comments or questions, you are welcome to send them to me. I would be happy to engage with you. And we'll continue this conversation of my running experience, my running journey, my running story, and all the beautiful things that I have experienced through running. And even the tough things as well, but mostly the beautiful things. So until next time, I'll look forward to hearing from you. In the meantime, take care of your mental, your spiritual, emotional, and physical self.